Hi Cancer, this is going to be your Sun, Moon, and Rising a video for November 2025. Please check back your Moon and Rising signs as they're posted. These readings are general and the messages will not resonate with everyone. Also, if you'd like to purchase a private reading with me, you can. My website is back up and running, HiddenLotusTarot.com. Just go over, pick out the package that you want, fill out the booking form, and I will contact you back. My turnaround time is 24 to 72 hours to produce readings. All I need from you when you fill out the booking form is your full name, your birth date, your sun sign, and if anybody wants to include anybody in the reading, you need to put their full name, birth date, and sun sign, and then your questions for the tarot, what you want me to read on. So that's it. I have with me today the Radiant White deck, the La Vida Sibila for clarification should we need, and we'll be wrapping the reading up with the Psychic Oracle Tarot. This is, I think, a crazy time. I also believe that it's going to get worse as 2026 goes along. That's only just a month away. You know, we're at the end of 2025. Can you believe it? So, here we go. I've already done some meditation and shuffling on your sign and glyph. So, I will put another shuffle and rifle on the deck. Let's cut it. 9 cards down. Here we go. The Star card. That's... I still can't get the card right. The Star card, well, you saw it. The Chariot card. The Ten of Swords. Next row. The Seven of Swords. Now I have 2 sevens. The Temperance card. The Three of Pentacles. The Page of Cups. The Six of Wands. This card I think I only did 2 readings, zodiac signs, where this card has not come out. So this kind of speaks to a lot in terms of the energy around this time or going forward. And finally, the Five of Wands. What is over the entire reading? The Two of Swords. Okay, so what do I have? I have 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards, your spiritual lessons, 2 swords in the spread proper. Swords represent thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, ideas, communication. 1 pentacle, which represents money or the doing of something. 1 cup, which represent your emotional quotient, how you feel about a person, place, or situation. And 2 wands, which represent your ambition, your focus, your desire, your determination. What does it take for you to get up every day and do what you do? I have just two sevens as a repeater numbers, which is important. And everything is going on around the temperance. And the temperance requires, it's like a reconciliation of opposites. Okay? You have water and fire. The card is a Sagittarian card. It represents a fire card. But you see clearly the angel dividing the water up in between cups. If you ever cooked, you know that you have to get the water and fire ratio just right, because you can turn it up too high and the water can boil over and put out the fire. You can turn it down too low and it just steams away. You got to get the balance just right. The card also talks about balancing out your logic from your emotions, your reason from your emotions. It also talks about moderation in all things. So this means that you may have to compromise. You may have to moderate your behavior, moderate your spending, your drinking, everything in moderation. It's best in all things. A lot of times people come to me with a reading and they may ask me the question, am I on the right path? I always, when this card appears, I always say, yes, you are on the right path. However, it may take you a little while to get there, to reach the back end of the path where the crown is. Okay? See how the angel is standing with 1 foot in the water? That represents emotions, and 1 foot on the land that represents being grounded and being logical and reasoning. Cards are read past, present, future. Past, present, future. Interplay of the cards. Now this is kind of a weird energy. I'll explain that in a minute. Across the top we have the Sorrow card. The Sorrow usually comes after the Tower. So it implies healing, implies your North Star, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, what you wish upon. It also requires that you, happens a lot in the tarot, the self lessons. So it also requires that you fill your own cup. Don't depend on other people to fill your cup for you. Why? Because she is pouring the water. She's pulling the water from the well, from the lake, and she's pouring it out in the 5 directions. But she's also naked. And that requires that you are comfortable with yourself the way you are. Okay? Next we have the Chariot card. And Chariot is a 7, as is a 7 of swords. And 7s require that you stop and think about what you're doing before you step out again. So the Chariot card is about, again, about controlling your emotions. You may be so upset about something or so gung-ho about your hopes and wishes and dreams that you're not thinking rationally or rightly. Or you may be focused on projects that will only bring you disappointment because they're not realistic at the time. So think about the Chariot card. The Chariot card represents a war vehicle of old. It was a dusty, bumpy, long, dangerous ride. But usually people got to where they wanted to go. The charioteer has no reins holding on to the sphinxes. So he's guiding it simply by his will and his emotions. Also, I think there's going to be some kind of message here. I don't really see a message in the spread, but the wings of Mercury are right there over the top of the yoni. Now, the 10 of Swords, it's a 10, which says that the crisis point has been reached. The critical point is over. It's a changing energy. So in this card, we see a figure laying face down on the ground. So this card can signify ambush, being stabbed in the back, being cheated, being lied to, something that happened that literally like killed you. Okay. And what I like to say, I like to call this the card of overkill. Why? Because you don't need 10 swords to kill a person. Just one well-placed one will do the trick. So you like, I can't take it anymore. Something happened that disappointed you or upset you very much. But the card says it's the darkest before the dawn. The crisis point has been reached and new conditions will follow. It also says this is the darkest before the dawn. See the light right there coming up? It also talks about long distance travel. Maybe around water, by water, over water, near water. So I have a lot of movement in this thread. I have a chariot, a horse, and the implication of a long journey or voyage. But then it comes down to the 7 of Swords. So 10 from 7 leaves 3. So that implies that there is some kind of hurt feelings, bitterness, maybe resentment, and maybe even the message that I was talking about might receive some kind of bad news. But the 7 of Swords is a really interesting card because most readers just interpret it as theft, foolishness, lies, spying. But it has several other meanings. It can also mean that you have been rushing around and not paying attention to what you are doing. And you can't blame anybody if things haven't worked out the way that you wanted them to work out. The reason why is because you haven't been paying attention to what you're doing. You're distracted. So you can't blame anybody else for things not going the way that you want them to. It can mean someone behaving in a way in which the ends justify the means. It can just say you need to pay attention to what you're doing. It's a 7. Pay attention to what you're doing. It can herald delays, postponements, arguments over money. So those are the alternate meanings. But if it does deal with it, someone stole from you in broad daylight. See the people back here? They're in the daylight, but this guy is stealing away with the swords. And this card represents, to me, a 5 of Swords, arguments and dispute, and 2 swords, like this one, where you don't know what to think or what to do. We move over to the 3 of Coins. 3s represent either 3 people in a situation, at least 2 people in a situation, or that there will be delays before future successes can be realized. So the 3 of Pentacles talks about cooperation, teamwork, about writing down and laying down your plans and following them. How else are you going to get where you want to go? If you don't, I used to have a boss, she told me, plan your work and work your plan. Plan your work and work your plan. So that's kind of like what the card is. Plan your work and work your plan. You may have to go to somebody to talk about your plans and how best to implement them. That's why we have the builder right there. He is up on a bench, which implies that he has a little more knowledge than the 2 people down here. Can we do this? How much is it going to cost? Can we alter it? and he's going to tell you what you can do. We come down to the last row, and there's an offer made. A message. Maybe the message I was talking about, I said I didn't see a message. Here's one right here. A message comes in. One that will make you make you feel some kind of way. Okay? Because it's cup. I think it will come as a surprise to you because the fish is popping out of the cup. But basically, he just represents a low level message that makes brings up emotions in you. Six represent love, balance, and harmony. The Six of Wands represents getting rewarded for the hard work you put in. It can be finishing up a degree, a second degree, getting some kind of certification, like CEUs, getting your name in the paper, being rewarded for all the hard work. It also can help promotions and bonuses. It says you have overcome a situation because before it was 6, it was a 5. But here we have the 5 after the 6. We lose a 1. That one that he's holding. So the card represents leadership. But it ends with a 5 of Wands. And the 5 of Wands can be, it's a 5, and all 5s represent changing energy, discordant energies, tense energies, like, ups and downs. And the 5 of Wands can be about everybody arguing, trying to get their point across to each other. It's in the group. It can be about someone playing head games, like saying the one thing and doing another. But it also says if you have to go to bat for yourself, you got to have the facts straight before you can go. So get your story straight. Know exactly what the facts are before you try to put in your truth to worth. And over the whole reading is a 2 of Swords. And 2s always represent choices, options, decisions, dualities, oppositions, like you being opposed against yourself, within yourself about something, or somebody actively opposing you. But basically what it boils down to is a crossroads. A decision has to be made. Sometimes this card can be about you letting your emotions get the best of you. It says you think you don't have enough information to make a decision. And trust me, not making a decision is a decision. Not choosing to act is a decision. See how her eye is not all the way covered with the 2 of Swords? I don't know if you can see that very well. See how she's peeking out underneath her blindfold? So that tells me you do know what's going on. Either you are too afraid to say something to rock the boat, or you're not quite sure what to do about it, what to think about it, what to say about it. It's a sword. That's why she's sitting down on a bench. She's resting. But the card also says, trust what your intuition is telling you. So, what can I glean from this? I'm going to see what these... I look at this, your hopes and dreams, building something, cooperation, and an offer coming in. But then this whole thing right here, 10 of Swords, 7 of Swords, 5 of Wands, it implies conflict. You get over it, but you think that either somebody's lying to you or you have made a monumental mistake in judgment because you were rushing around too fast and not paying attention to what you were doing. That this creates some kind of problem, usually within a work context. So I'm going to look at the 7 of Swords first. That's going to be, I'm going to see whether this is theft or just maybe a misunderstanding, miscommunication, misunderstanding, something like that. An assumption that maybe you jumped the gun, by assuming something that was not true. Or maybe it was true. I don't know. Mercante. Usually a businessman. He can be a boss. He's someone that is mostly motivated by money. Viaggio. A trip. Maybe this person has come back from a trip. A visit from someplace. And Yardo. So, I think he comes back and finds some theft going on. That's what the card said to me. Or you arrive back and you find that somebody has been stealing from you. This card says that. So that's the interpretation that I'm going with. So I'm going to turn over the one core card that I have, and I'm going to look to see what other messages the cards can give me. The 10 of Swords, the 7 of Swords, the 3 of Pentacles, the 6 of Pentacles, the 6 of Wands, the 5 of Wands as they relate to the Star card, the Chariot card, and the Temperance card. I will start with the 10 of Swords. It's right there. The guy, somebody is stealing. Nothing about the 10 of Swords. Next to a 7 of any other suit. Remember, I have 2 7s. Firstly, it warns of false friends. And the second meaning is that huge life changes are about to take place in your life. It is a strong indication that you have reached an important point in your life and change is inevitable. It also tells of starting over under new or different circumstances with new and favorable conditions. Okay? But it warns of false friends. 2 7s warns of false friends. Now we look at the 3 of Pentacles. Nothing about the 3 of Pentacles. The 6 of Wands. Nothing about the 6 of Wands. The 5 of Wands. Nothing. And 5s can even talk about new experiences ahead. That's true. So, there's some kind of theft, foolishness, deception going on in the situation. And I think you should get to the bottom of it. And you have to, before you speak, have your facts straight. Okay. Let's pull a maybe that's what the message is about. It comes as a surprise. Somebody is stealing from you, or you are stealing from someone, and you're going to be caught out. That's it. That can be also. And you got to try to defend yourself. I don't know. Let's pull a card. And that's also the meaning of the 7 of make sure that all the dealings that you are doing are upstanding and correct, because if you're not, you can get caught out and it's going to be hell to pay. I forgot that interpretation. Heartache and loss. This card just came up. The meaning of this card revolves around disappointment, sorrow, separation, which can cause upheaval and distress. It takes all the strength you have at this moment in order to move past the pain and heal your heart. The love that has been given to another should now be focused on you. Although you might look at this card as being negative, it can act as a tremendous catalyst encouraging you to move on. The painful experiences of life are just as valuable as the joyous ones. You may not appreciate that sentiment at this challenging time, but life does have a way of pushing you forward, even though you may not always know the final destination. As you endure this period, learn not to dwell on the past, but use your strong mental control to deal with your emotions. Have faith in knowing that you will get through this. Maybe you find out and you just don't know what to do. So that's what I have for you, Cancer, for November 2025, and good luck.